Hello gamers, time for some more Crowfall information. Mr. J. Todd Coleman himself came out a few days ago and said, "Hey gang, a few interesting items for you today. Continuing the exploration of our art style, we wanted to show you how an idea, in this case a character, makes the jump from 2D illustration to 3D game asset." Then he goes on to say, "The following image gives us some insight into this process. On the left we have a painted concept image of an archetype character, which is a female Templar. On the right is a render of that same character, textured, modeled, and lit 3D. While the final result always differs a bit, you can begin to see how the art style begins at the concept stage and shines through in the eventual game." And here's the picture here. That's pretty fantastic. I'm a big fan of this. Next we have our next image is from our banner concept series. This image shows a duel between two characters, which is a knight and a champion. At this particular moment, things are looking rather grim for the knight. And this is the most interesting part. Lastly, we're posting an illustration that provides clues for both a core game system and one of our narrative threads. He's not going to say anything else about this, but he's leaving us to decide what's going on here and see if our conclusions are going to match up with theirs. So I'm sure they're having a good time sitting back, reading all of the different speculations that people are coming up with, whether they're different factions or representing the different characters or different houses, whether it's good versus evil with neutral in the middle. I mean, there's a lot of ideas throwing around, so I wonder what that is going to be. So I think that's pretty cool. But today, which is January the 20th, 2015, at the time of this recording, they came out with some more information. So let's go ahead and check that out. And here we go. Character creation preview, runes, runes, runes. Mr. J. Todd Coleman says once again, "Hey folks, it's that time again. On the menu today we are serving the fourth installment in the banner concept series. The inclusion of this scene is probably not a huge surprise to anyone. It's basically a reverse shot and a prequel, I suppose, to the Ramparts image that we dropped last week. Internally, they're referring to this image as calling the banners for obvious reasons." And this is the part that has a lot of people talking here. It says, "Next up is an example of the fealty chart. This isn't a guild org chart. They say we support guilds and structures, but we've laid a different system on top of that, which ties players' fealty directly to land ownership. More on this system and how it ties to Siege Conquest will be coming soon." And up at the top you can see it says King, Archduke, Archduchess, Duke, Duke, Duchess, Duke. At the bottom is Countess, Countess, Count, Baron, 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 Baroness. I think that's pretty cool, and that's going to keep us talking for days and days because it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. And here, last but not least, it says presenting the 2-2 page of character creation. I showed the 1-2 page before, so if you haven't watched that video, you should check it out. And there's a few more things on this one. It goes on to say, in this one you'll get a glimpse of the advantages and disadvantages system, which Shadowbane players will recognize. And then it goes on to say, as an interesting side note, we're actually in the process of going over these 2 pages again right now, looking for ways to further streamline the interface. Next time you see these screens, we'll likely have it split into 3 pages. So that'll be interesting. Okay, it says customize hero. It shows ambidextry and demonic blood, poor eyesight, eagle eye, erudite, fleet-footed, giant's blood, dim-witted, and lucky. And then some of them have pluses and some of them have negatives. So that'll be interesting to see how the creation points go into play with that. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see it says Frostweaver. And then the different attributes, once again, strength, spirit, armor, dexterity, intellect, and movement. And then others, under statistics it goes weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, power cooldown, fire damage, ice damage. This is the interesting one, warmth conversion. And then there's dash count, life on hit, health regen, hunger resistance, fire resistance, and ice resistance. And then he goes on to say, hope you enjoy this update and stay tuned that they have a bigger update coming later this week. I'm looking forward to that. I know a lot of others are as well. If you want to check out these pages a little bit better, I'll put the links down in the description box below. If you haven't followed them on Twitter, that's where a lot of information is coming out. So check them out on Twitter, check them out on their official website, Facebook, etc. Alright, well, this has been Noobzilla going over some of the latest information on Crowfall. I hope you all enjoyed. Happy gaming.